Red wine braised short ribs. They are everybody's favorite thing to make, either on a Sunday or for a dinner party. They make your house smell amazing. They take about 20 minutes to throw together, and they're super simple. So let's make them. Okay, so you can't make red wine braised short ribs without your short ribs. So when going to the butcher, you're gonna wanna ask for English style short ribs cut about 2 inches thick. Before I sear them, I'm going to season them really well. And by really well, I mean like pretty generously. I like to lay them all out because that way I can see all the surface area. Now that my short ribs are generously seasoned, I'm going to sear them. So I've got a really nice cast iron Dutch oven. This is where you're developing a lot of the flavor. You're getting a really nice golden brown crust. Don't skimp on this step because the rest of it is pretty hands off. The pan is very hot. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to get them going. It doesn't really matter what side you start on, so whatever tickles your fancy. You've heard the phrase, don't crowd the pan before, and here's why it's important. Remember that golden brown crust we were talking about moments ago? Well, you won't be able to get that if there's too many short ribs in the pan. They'll end up steaming together and get that sort of grayish color that nobody's interested in. So I've got half of my short ribs in the pan now, and I'll do the other half when these come out, and it'll all get done. It'll be great. So my second batch is all browned. They're looking really amazing. These short ribs have obviously shrunk a little bit, and some of that is coming from the fat that they've lost during searing. Short ribs are already so fatty on their own that we don't need the additional fat that's left over, so we're just gonna drain it. You'll have some really nice browned bits on the bottom of your pan, and no need to wipe those out. So all that fat that we just removed, we are going to sort of put back because in that fat is flavor. And we are gonna add pancetta. We like pancetta because it is porky and salty and delicious without being smoky, which can sort of overwhelm the other flavors. I'm gonna cook this pancetta until the fat starts to render, and you'll see that start to happen. It'll shrink, the bits will become a little bit golden brown, maybe crispy. I'm gonna add my onions and my thyme. The nice thing about a dish like this is that it also doesn't really matter how good your knife skills are because everything gets strained out at the end anyway. So my onions have been going for a while. They're mingling with the pancetta. They're looking really nice. Now I'm gonna add my carrots. And you may be asking yourself, what is a young carrot? Well, we mean any sort of tiny, cute little carrot. They're gonna cook faster. You don't need to cut them. But if you can only find large carrots, just make sure you cut them roughly this size. Gonna add the tomatoes. And these are chopped canned tomatoes. We love canned tomatoes. Now we are gonna add my favorite ingredient, which is wine. And I know you've heard before, if you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it. So I always pour myself just a really small amount. I'm gonna add the short ribs back to the pot. And I like to do this with tongs because I can sort of nestle them in there and make sure that they all fit. It's like a big party in there. You know, there's room for everybody. When it comes time to like the last couple that you're gonna put in the pot, you'll notice that it's getting a little tight. I always put them bone side up. So then you'll know that at least your meat's gonna get tender and braised. If there's any juices left over in your bowl from the short ribs, just throw that in too. And I'm gonna put the lid on it. You want this at a steady simmer, 3.5 to 4 hours, and they'll be good to go. We're gonna make our gremolata now. And this one, it can be sort of any mixture of herbs that you like, but have parsley be most of it, because it has a really nice, clean, neutral flavor that pairs really well with most everything. And then a bit of chive, because it has a really nice oniony flavor, which is great. I'm gonna add the orange zest, and then some fresh garlic. And you wanna make sure that when you're chopping the garlic, you go really fine. You could even grate it on a microplane if you like. And then some really nice sea salt. I like to use something coarse with a little bit of texture, because then you get those nice salt crystals that only add to the finishing touches on your short ribs. Make sure that everything is mixed together really nice. And that's it, we are good to go. My ribs are in here, they are done, they smell amazing. And I took them out, I strained the sauce and poured it back over the ribs, and now I'm just keeping them warm. They're literally so tender that I cannot even pick them up without them falling apart. I like serving them right out of the pot because it's nice, dramatic presentation. I'm going to sprinkle the whole pot with my gremolata and then serve any extra just at the table alongside. And there you have it, our red wine braised short ribs. For this recipe, plus more comfort food, go to bonappetit.com/comfort.